The surfaces, we see it as a, let's say, an enlargement of your clothes. It's like your habitat. It's heated. It protects you from rain. So it is something like a dress. And then considering this, the floor in particular is the element that connects you. In other cultures, you put off the shoes. You have different textiles on the floor. Even, let's say, in former times, you were laying on the floor. So basically, I think the subconsciousness of the floor is something that connects us with the earth, and that's pretty important for us. So looking at the process, the floor is something that is considered quite early, but more in a conceptual way. First, we do structural or strategic layouts, and we work with zoning. And obviously, the floor helps us zone the space. So we have to think in an abstract way first. Is it hard? Is it soft? Does it need some rain sustainability here or there? And in a later state, we are going into more details. But it's actually one of the first things, because it's so close to a structural layout or to a strategic layout, that we consider it pretty early, but more in a conceptual way. The floor has a certain expression for interior design. It has a certain functionality that it needs to fulfill, and the specifications sometimes are in public places are even given by the people who clean it. So I think it's an area where a lot of people are involved without being, let's say, a primary design feature. For example, when I compared before the surfaces of a room as a dress, maybe the floor is the shoe. And at the end of the day, if you look at the people's shoe, you recognize a lot who they are at the end of the day. So I think the floor that has been chosen or wisely chosen tells you a lot about the project as well. But it is so many possibilities we have, from poured concrete or from terrazzo to wooden floors to natural stone floors, to even the textile versions. That is a huge, let's say, we have a huge choice. It's a huge colorful palette we can choose from, and the function, the area, the zoning, as well as the client's need will help us specify the floors. In office spaces, we often use, let's say, textile floors just to take down the overall noise of the space. It's not that efficient as wall paneling, but it still helps with the well-being. On the other hand, it gives the room a very high degree of privacy, which maybe is not what you want in an office. It is just this level of privacy. So the choice of the floor material is also defining, with all this noise level, the level of privacy. So when you have a very calm room with a lot of textile surfaces, it becomes very loungy, but just from the acoustics and from the atmosphere. So I think the mood of the room has priority over the acoustics, but the acoustics will form the room. So I think all these components are part of a huge composition, because at the end, interior architecture in general is an overall piece of art that needs to be in a harmony. You can't just exchange unique material. It's one unique thing that we try to create. We are not building in floors because they're trendy, because that wouldn't be sustainable, because then something else becomes trendy in a year. But I think still there are certain trends. I think one trend is that people realize that tactile floors are more important. I see that wooden floors become more like three-dimensional, and more the tactile quality comes out. Also that bigger boards are engineered on let's say in an affordable fashion. So 10 years ago, there was a certain dimension of wood boards. Now they become bigger. They become also more three-dimensional, and more tactile. And I think that's one line of a trend. And the other trend is, as I mentioned before, probably also the very thin layered composite material that are available, also very great for renovations and for it's just the material itself. It's capable of much more than before, probably because of chemistry that's in there. Obviously, we need to check on the sustainability there, but it gives us on the poured floor level also new opportunities. And maybe last but not least, this trend of the terrazzo flooring with reused material that are actually brought in. That's in this sustainable question would be, let's say, a trend. But overall, architecture should not be for trends, because trends are maybe seasonal. Interior design is for decades, and architecture is for 100 years. So I think it's always the question how long term you discuss or you put this question.